A management plan is a key tool for woodland management. For the owner, it is a practical document that sets out the management strategy required to achieve his or her objectives for their woods. For the Forestry Commission, it provides a clear structure for management proposals, which we can consider against the UK Forestry Standard criteria for sustainable woodland management. Here at the Ridge Estate, a woodland management plan has been produced which details a balanced set of economic, environmental and social objectives with appropriate management proposals in light of each wood's individual type and character.
The Ridge is a traditional mixed estate set on the edge of the Cotswolds Escarpment. It lies within the area of outstanding natural beauty and has stunning views westward over the Severn Estuary towards the Forest of Dean and the Welsh Mountains beyond. The estate is approximately half woodland and is centred around the site of the original mansion house, which was built in the 1820s but later demolished in 1936. From a management perspective, the woods are divided between those associated with the site of the old mansion house, which is to be rebuilt, and those set further away. The woods near the site of the old mansion house are the remnants of the pleasure grounds and screening woods, as well as areas of garden that have been lost to nature, and as such they're extremely important for the setting they create. By contrast, the lion's share of the estate's woodland is located further west on steep valley slopes. These woods are a mixture of locally typical, beech-dominated ancient semi-natural woodland and relatively young plantations on ancient woodland sites, and they all have high historical, landscape and ecological importance.
The plan works well here for a number of reasons. It sets out a clear, well-articulated and easily understood vision over the medium to long term. It sets out the woodland management objectives, ensuring all parties concerned have a common understanding of what those objectives are. Because the plan has been fully researched, it's apparent early on in the management planning process what's important about the woods to the owner and to the wider public. The woods have been surveyed, described, categorised and mapped so that individual management prescriptions can be set out in the plan of operations at a sub-compartment level. It also demonstrates an appropriate level of stakeholder engagement for the size and sensitivity of the woods concerned. It is an effective means of monitoring the effects of management. Crucially, when it's complete, Graham and I can check it off against the 9-point UK Forestry Standard management plan criteria.
This area is a good example of the positive outcome from the management planning process. The open area behind me is the estate's original walled garden, but when I first came here it was completely lost within a young plantation of mixed broadleaves which had become badly damaged by grey squirrels. The trees were extremely poor, but the area was very important to us as it was part of the original design of the estate. The problem for us was that the trees had reached a licensable size, so we were going to need a consent from the Forestry Commission to remove them. This problem was identified when I undertook the original woodland survey as part of the management plan preparation. So I contacted David to discuss what the options might be, and David was able to agree in principle that we could remove the trees if we could come up with a suitable replacement planting site elsewhere on the estate.
Graham and I discussed all the factors that we at the Forestry Commission have to consider, as well as the information required by other bodies to support a proposal such as this. The management plan and plan of operations which Graham put together provides us with this information.
So I surveyed the estate and came up with a number of options for the estate owner to consider. The favoured option was to the north of here, on the edge of the estate, and it had the benefit of joining together 3 small native woodlands into one unit and also providing additional screening next to a busy A road.
It's in circumstances like this that having a plan makes all the difference. It makes the regulatory process much more straightforward and less onerous for owner, agent and for me. Graham was able to detail the restoration of the walled garden with reference to the Forestry Commission's open habitat policy, the right tree in the right place. He provided the information that supported planting an alternative area with the resulting increase in benefits to both biodiversity and the landscape. Well-written management plans such as this allow the necessary stakeholder consultations and Forestry Commission checks and approvals to be performed easily to support potentially contentious proposals such as deforestation in a clear and thorough manner.
Once approved, we were able to clear all the trees in the walled garden and we replanted the replacement site. So quite early on we achieved one of the estate's key objectives.
The UK Forestry Standard strengthens the role of forest planning and in this case puts the forestry objectives on an equal footing with wider planning and development objectives. From a financial perspective, having a Forestry Commission approved management plan will be a prerequisite to access grants under countryside stewardship. Ecologically, well-managed woodlands are also likely to be more resilient to increased threats from pests, diseases and a changing climate.